Here's what I hope is some information and a quick review about the new Palm Brace 2, PB2. I got the PB1 some years back. I can imagine 20 or 25 years ago when it first came out and people ordered and they had no idea and they get this tiny thing thinking they're getting a full-size brace and they were shocked. I already knew by then that it was a small, tiny brace, but I assumed it would be more decorative, than useful. Some Bridge City tools are extremely useful, some are revolutionary, and some are just beautiful, and mostly they sit around. So I thought this would be in that category, but it wasn't. I found out it was extremely valuable in my guitar work for drilling small holes and screwing and unscrewing small screws. So it does work like a small brace. And because of, I guess, the torque that you have and the control that you have with the bracing motion, it's excellent for drilling accurate small holes. So I really liked my PB1, but there were some flaws to it. The first thing that happened is the head came off, popped off. I figured out a way to jerry-rig it down so that it would not come off again and still turn. So I was good for a couple more years. Then I found that the chuck, which really is a brass part and works by screwing in the hex bit, started getting looser. I'd have to tighten it really tight to hold on to the bit, and then the bit would get loose and I had to tighten it again. And it was obvious, I assumed the nature of brass was that the brass chuck itself was having difficulty. So I contacted Rudiger West to see if either he had a solution or had another brass part. He did. He sent me a brand new, unused brass part, and I'm back in business. So happy with my tool again. That was a year or more ago. But I knew that there were some flaws to the tool, and even though it's beautiful with the brass and the rosewood, or I think it's cocobolo, that I was likely to have problems in the future. So then Bridge City came out with the PB2. The PB2, like the modern Bridge City tools, is not brass and cocobolo. This is titanium. The arms are titanium. They have a PVC coating. It is a bit bigger than the PB1, and it is significantly, I guess it's 50% heavier. Certainly the biggest change is the keyless chuck. So let's see how that works. Take the bit out. I'm sweating here. Pull back the keyless chuck, enter it, and I'm good. And that will not give me a problem, I'm sure. That holds perfectly. It has the same advantages of being small, close to your workpiece. Therefore, you're able to drill a very accurate small, or maybe not so small hole. It'll fit any hex bit. So in theory, you can drill a bit bigger hole. I'm pulling it out now. In fact, let's quickly try that. Here's a little bit bigger bit. Holds well. So it does well. I suppose you could use, you could probably use any hex bit you can manage, but I just find that it's it's best for controlling small bits for small holes, where I used to use a hand drill. In fact, I used to use my Bridge City hand drill, but I just found this to be, or the original, to be so much easier to use. So really, what can you review here? The keyless chuck is clearly superior to the previous one, and I expect it to last a lot of years. The finish is beautiful. Yes, it is the modern finish that Bridge City now uses versus the old-fashioned brass and cocoa, but it's still quite beautiful to use, and it works fantastically well. It is in fact a very practical tool. In guitar work, I'm drilling often, I'm driving small screws. Sometimes they're very delicate screws or brass screws where you don't want to damage the screw, and this gives you the kind of ability to get right down on your work and drive in the screw or drive it out. So far my review is extremely positive for the PB2, Palm Brace 2.